What's going on, y'all? Brother Shay here in New Orleans Revival Center, Restoration Embassy, Ambassadors for Christ is here to add another volume to our Christian apologetic series. And today our topic is the criticism that God was too harsh to King Saul. So let's talk about why God rejected Saul, understanding divine justice. See, many people criticize the story of King Saul, claiming that God was harsh and unjust in rejecting him over what seemed like minor disobedience. But to understand this, we need to see the bigger picture of God's standards and purposes. Saul was Israel's first king, chosen by God. Yet in 1 Samuel 13, Saul disobeyed God by offering a sacrifice himself instead of waiting for Samuel. Later, in 1 Samuel 15, he spared King Agag and kept the best of the livestock when God commanded total obedience. Some say these acts were minor mistakes, but Scripture frames them differently. God's rejection wasn't about perfectionism. It was about obedience and trust. Saul's choices showed a pattern, putting personal judgment and pride above God's will. Partial obedience is still disobedience in God's eyes. 1 Samuel 15 and 22 reminds us to obey is better than sacrifice. God desired a king whose heart aligned fully with his commands, not just someone who performed religious rituals. And we know that later on, David is going to come to be known as the apple of God's eye. Why? Because he went after the heart of God. Saul's failure was not a single slip. It wasn't a single slip. It reflected a heart that was turning away from God's authority. So God's rejection of Saul demonstrates a principle for all of us. God values wholehearted obedience and integrity over superficial compliance. It's a warning that leadership, privilege, or spiritual calling doesn't excuse disobedience. Even small compromises matter when they reflect our priorities and heart. Saul's story isn't about divine harshness. It's about the seriousness of living under God's authority and the consequences when we choose our own way over his. So I hope that can provide some clarity for you all in regards to that criticism. Till next time, y'all. Be blessed.